Okay, so you've got an application where there are fire-rated doors in a condo building. You have a drastic offset immediately underneath the face of the door on the push side of up to 2 inch, probably inch and a half, 1 inch, whatever it might be, 3/4 inch. And you have, of the total of all of the openings, you've got about 10% of them that appear to be quite troublesome. This is a difficult situation because we're limited because the doors are fire rated, so there's not much that we can actually do. So I'm going to switch to the screen view and I'm going to take a closer look at what potential options there might be, and hopefully this will help you determine what product or how best to proceed. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So we're looking at this image here, and that's looking down as you're standing from the hull side into the unit. And what's not extremely clear here is what that offset is, but we understand that offset to be like this. So we have the corridor, we have some unknown dimension here. Your door frame really occupies from about here out to about here, and if I ran those lines up, we would see our door frame. It appears to me that the door is going to reside somewhere right in here. Okay, and the trouble is how to transition this. And do so in a code compliant way in terms of fire rating. So you had the idea of using the Reese V138, and the idea was to use that V138 and obviously to place that right here. You know, and I think that's a great idea. It's inexpensive, it's effective. It will seal that gap. What you can do on all of those openings that have this condition where you can make uniform this as the solution, I would do so. We know that we can have a 1/2 inch undercut on these fire rated doors so that you can maximize the quantity of alike doors in terms of maximizing how many are all the same height, because you can trim them down a 1/2 inch on the bottom. Alternatively, you can just count out how many you have, and let's leave the required margin for the V138. You know, I would be at 7/16 on this. You know, 3/8 is probably going to be a bit tight to crush that down. I'd be at 7/16. So what I'm saying is, whatever the dimension from the finished floor up to the underside of the header, well, actually, it would be the header down to the jamb, less this amount that the flooring is going to come into, less 7/16 for that margin, less 1/8 inch up at the header, and that would be the net door height. Another solution that I might consider, because I think it would be more elegant, it would definitely be more elegant, but it would most absolutely be more expensive, is that you have the factory take and route the doors out for fire-rated automatic door bottoms. The advantage to this is there's nothing on the floor. The automatic door bottom will drop down and seal reasonably a 1/2 inch gap. The advantage is there's nothing on the floor, like I said earlier, but when the door opens, that snaps back up into the housing. And an automatic door bottom, and I'm just mentioning it because I think it's an elegant solution. It's not the one that you'll likely use, because automatic door bottoms are not inexpensive. So we're going to look for an automatic door bottom that would be not unlike this concept. Okay, you close the door and this drops down. This is shown with the drop bar extended or the door closed. So I want to keep it reasonable and inexpensive, and I think that V138 here is a good idea. I think it's nice to have a small threshold there. I would prefer not to have something on the floor, but at the end of the day, you need to have a seal at the bottom of the door. The problem is here. And if all of the situations, if all of the installations are such that this door is flush, that door swings in. If the door is flush with that offset, then why not the idea of using something not unlike a wooden threshold like this concept. What you could do is you could simply you could buy 8-quarter lumber and you can plane it down and you can create yourself some sort of a reasonable transition. You can set up whatever degree you want that to be. You could then make them a certain width and then rip them back, and you can then rip them this way on your table saw to give you the height that you need. While I'm suspect of drilling and countersinking the top of this for Tapcons through the carpet, I'm thinking you might be able to do that. I'm thinking it's wood that you're going to screw down. You're going to have to make them to transition. I believe that you are completely okay with fire rating because you're not underneath the door. You have a fire rated solution under the door. You have a net door height that's compatible with the maximum requirements for fire rated doors. You have a product sealing the bottom of the door that is fire rated. What we're trying to do here, obviously, is to take this concept and incorporate it into a unified solution like this, as you have already, which was being discussed as something like the concept of this highboy, where the existing units that you're pulling out, someone clearly ripped this leg off, and that's how they solved the problem. It's not fire rated is the problem. So that's where we get stuck on that idea. Now, Pemco does have these different bump up thresholds, 3/4, 1 inch. They also have these square backs, 5/8, 1 inch, 1.25 inches. So the idea of the square backs would be that it would give you the ability to, the concept is to put one of those square back thresholds in here. That's at least the idea. Transition that. The problem is we're not going to get 2 inch out of this. And I don't see an elegant way in which to do that. You want to have some sort of transition from the exterior side overlapping the top of the wood floor so that you can automatically cover that. The issue is that ripping this leg back is going to be a problem. And it's clear that when they did the original installation, they did it in such a way that it wasn't fire rated. So that's where I'm coming back to this concept of lumber. You're not modifying anything, you are trimming it off, and you are using fire rated material. The other thing I wanted to mention is you might be able to get away with this trim underneath to just cap it off and then go on top of that with your V138. It's just a sill nosing. I'm somewhat, if an inspector was going to be technical about it, these are not fire rated. I'm seeing it as a cap or a dress piece is what I'm trying to say. They do make them 1.75 inches, so you're probably going to get pretty far down to even the worst. You could rip that on a table saw very easily and set your V138 over it is the concept. May not be awful. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone in terms of dressing it off, but you're still going to need some sort of transition like this on those really funky applications where you have that extreme flooring condition. I don't really have any other answers to this at all, is the bottom line. I think what you might want to do is order the doors that will give you the size that you need here. What's good about this is we're going with all of the openings being one height. 82-inch rough opening, -5/8, 81 3/8 nominal door height. The only thing that's going to change is how much you've got to lose on the bottom of the door for this area here, and whatever you're going to do below the door. I'm thinking it's lumber. I'm thinking this is somebody with a planer and a table saw, somebody who knows how to run that stuff, is what I'm thinking. Okay, sorry I didn't have a slam dunk solution. I just don't believe that there is one. Thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.